More people have seen me naked than have seen me without high heels. Now, I so wish I could take credit for saying that. Unfortunately, I can't. It was actually Julia Hart, who, if you're not familiar with her, she's a writer and a designer. And if she doesn't actually qualify as a philanthropist, she probably should, because she's incredibly generous with her time and money both. She was actually also the first one that I heard mention height equity in regards to women in business and power, which we will absolutely circle back to later on in the video, so you'll want to hang around. But as petite women, shoes are one of the most powerful things that we have in our toolbox to create flattering outfits. They can make us look longer and thinner. They can pull together an outfit probably easier than anything else that we can think of. And as somebody whose weight fluctuates, they always fit. They're also a great way to express our personal style. So, a lot of good stuff. On the flip side, when we choose the wrong ones or choose the wrong ones for the outfit that we have on, it can really go sideways. And they can make us look shorter and wider. And I hate to use the F word, but they can make us look frumpy. So in this video, we're going to talk about 3 super easy things to look for next time you're shoe shopping so that you'll find flattering and comfortable, yes, comfortable shoes easily. All right, I'm Angela, your petite style coach, and when you're ready, let's dive in. This is the perfect time for us all just to level set and agree on what our petite style goal is. And that is to create the illusion of length. It is not about looking taller or whatever. I've never had a petite client who says, "Oh my God, I hate being short." But what we do hate is when we do things unintentionally or unknowingly to make us look even shorter, because that's when we start to look wider. So, how do we go about creating that illusion of length? The easiest way is to create an uninterrupted column of color. By far, that's the simplest thing that we can do. Hold on, I'm gonna change. There we go. Change the slide. I don't know who this girl is. She's cute as a bug. And she did do a terrific job creating that column of color from the top of her head all the way down to the top of her black boots. Now, I don't know how tall she is. If she's 6 feet tall, can she make style choices like this? 100%. Because her vertical real estate is so long, if it stops prematurely, it's not a big deal. When you're 5 feet tall, that is a whole other ball of wax. And we can't afford to be making style choices that are going to cut off our vertical line before we're ready to, because let's be honest, our vertical line is not that long. So what we want to do is, in a situation like this, is even if she had chosen a pair of flesh-colored ankle boots, that would have been a much better choice for short girls. Now, I'm not a huge fan of ankle boots with skirts, but if you like that look, then absolutely just remember to do something more flesh-colored. So that's our first goal, create the illusion of length. Our second goal is if when you took the petite body shape quiz, if you chose legs as your favorite feature, then your secondary goal is to actually draw attention to your legs. Now, if you haven't taken the Petite Body Shape Quiz, then this would be a perfect time to put me on pause, hop on over and take that. It takes like 2 minutes. It's 7 questions. It's super fast. And the rest of this video and every other video on this channel will make a whole lot more sense. In fact, I'm going to pop up the URL so you can just hop right over and take care of that. Now, if you're saying, I don't need to take the quiz, I already know I'm an apple or a pear or whatever, I just want to say that we look at body shape a little bit differently around here. So we don't talk about fruit salads or any kind of geometry, triangles, rectangles, or anything like that. So you might want to reconsider. Let's dig into the 3 different components for finding flattering shoes. Now, before we get into each one, I do want to say you don't have to do them all. the easiest thing to do is to pick one that, number one, feels the easiest for you. And then the second one is choose one that really resonates with your personal style and start there. Now, listen, if you find a pair of shoes and they fit into all three categories, absolutely buy them and buy multiples. But if you can just pick one, you're already going to be a step ahead of the majority of short girls out there. So, first thing that we're going to do is tackle color. Now, we've already talked about the whole choose shoes that are your skin, that match your skin tone, in the last picture. So I don't think we need to like dig into it a whole lot more. But with this picture is such a great example. In fact, everything about this outfit's pretty amazing. But you wouldn't even notice her shoes unless we were really like talking about them and studying them or whatever, because she's just done such a beautiful job of creating that illusion or that column of color. Now, I don't want you to feel limited when it comes to, oh, so now I can only buy like nude shoes or, chocolate covered shoes if you have a darker skin tone. Not at all. And it's so perfect right now because metallic is definitely having a moment. So whether you choose silver or gold or whatever makes sense with your color palette, metallics are definitely something to keep in mind. And the fun thing is that they're available in everything from super casual to super dressy to cocktail shoes. So you have a lot of options. Now, I was talking to Rich about, we were watching the news and there was a newscaster that came up, and anyway, she had on a black dress and no tights or hose or anything like that. And then she had black shoes on. And so we were talking about it and he goes, so what, you can never wear black shoes? And I said, no, you absolutely can. And it's a super smart look when you match your shoe color to your full length pants or maxi skirt, because again, just keeps that uninterrupted line going. What we don't want to do is create that color blocking, which you can't see the whole picture, so you'll have to take my word for it. But she has a white blazer on, and then she has black pants, and then she has the bright white shoes. So essentially, she chopped herself up into three different pieces. Again, if you're 6 feet tall, it could work. But when you're 5 feet tall, it's something that we definitely want to keep an eye out and avoid if possible. Okay, we are now ready to talk about style and shape. And the first style that we're going to talk about is pointed toe. Now, anytime I mention pointed toe shoes in a video or in a group coaching session or whatever, there's invariably somebody who's like, I hate pointed toe shoes. They're so uncomfortable. And I hear what you're saying. And just know that they don't have to be this dramatic of a pointed toe. So we have square toed, and then we have very sharp pointed toe, and everything in between, just like everything else. So there's varying degrees. Just always put the shoes that you're trying on through that toe shape filter and decide, is that the best shape for you and your legs and the outfit that you're going to be wearing it with. And if you hate pointed toe, goodness knows, don't buy them. Okay. Second style shape feature that I wanted to talk about were ankle straps. And are they a do or a don't? And so I was super excited when I saw this picture because you can't tell it, but they actually have the same exact dress on and then just the opposing shoe colors. So, and this goes kind of beyond an ankle strap. It's like ankle straps on steroids, but it creates the perfect visual for us. So the girl on our left, the pale pink dress with the pale pink legs, and then all of a sudden the black strappy sandal. And it's just a great visual for how the black straps like stop our vision right there and again chop us up prematurely. Versus the girl on the right with they're actually a metallic gold shoe, but because they match her leg color so well, it really does make her legs look so much longer. So when you're looking at styles that have an ankle strap, think about, what am I going to wear with it and what color would be best? And then finally, because Reese Witherspoon, cutest petite on the planet. But that's not why I chose this picture. It's because so many times I think when petites are talking about shoes, we get very focused on stilettos or platforms or, like like super like more uncomfortable high heels, where really we do have a lot of options. I mean, there's wedges and espadrilles, and at this time of the year, flat forms. And summer is the perfect time to choose something a little bit more casual, and that will give us a couple of inches of added height while still keeping our feet happy. Before we jump into heel height, please be sure to follow the channel, share the video with any fellow short girls that you know who wear shoes, and please make sure to put any questions or comments under the video below, because I love to hear from you guys, and I feel like this is a topic that could create a lot of juicy conversations. All right, so let's talk about heel height and revisit what Julia Hart said that we were talking about at the beginning of the video, which is height equity. And just to drill it down to the basics of her philosophy, and that is women who are in high value situations feel more powerful, more in control, and can stand more confidently in their position of authority when they have on high heels. And I don't know what Reese and Jennifer Aniston are doing, but between the microphones and the slides behind them, you would imagine that it's probably a highly visible situation. And the style choice that they both made is to wear high heels. And again, like they look like they feel powerful and confident in what they're doing. And can we just talk about Reese Witherspoon's posture? I mean, that is like perfect. That's a goal. A goal moving forward, have better posture. All right. Again, another petite, Nicole Richie. I don't know where she's at, what she's doing, but with the ear mic, I'm thinking that it's probably a highly visible situation, presentation, round table, something like that. And she chose super high heels. So I think we've all been in situations before where we've walked into a meeting or a sales call or something like that, and people have towered over us. And if you guys are anything like me, there's always that in the back of my head that said, I need to be bigger. My personality I like have to turn it up louder because there's such a height inequity. So when you're in those situations, just always keep that in mind. Like, if I do walk into the situation, will I feel better if I have high heels on? And so that brings us to heel height. And every woman has an ideal heel height based on her anatomy. And I put a little arrow there to point it out. I can't remember what it's called. Somebody that's watching probably knows. They should definitely pop that into the comments so we'll remember. But it's like a muscle or a tendon or a ligament that connects our foot to our ankle. And depending upon how flexible that ligament, muscle, whatever is, depends on what heel height we can wear comfortably. Now, I'm not saying we have to go to a podiatrist and have them measure the flexibility of fill in the blank, but you probably already have a good idea of what your ideal heel height is just by the shoes that you already have in your closet that are comfortable, that you could wear all day without any pain. So just always keep that in mind, because once you have that number in your head, and most women, just to let you know, it's somewhere between 1 and 3 inches. Once you know that number, whether it's 2 or 2.5 or whatever, it's easy to walk away from shoes that are 3, 3.5, because you know that they're going to be painful and they're not going to be something that you can wear all day long. So know your ideal heel height. All right. When it comes to shoes, I want you to be able to wear whichever ones that you want. And I also want you to know what your must-haves are when it comes to shoes. And again, it goes back to our anatomy. Like, we're all built differently and we're all going to require different things from our shoes. So I just wanted to give you a couple examples of what some must-haves are. And then you can come up with your own, or if something that I say resonates, you can keep the tips in mind. So I have a client and she has incredibly high arches. And what that means is that she can't wear anything comfortably that covers the top of her foot where her arch is. So we have to avoid like loafers. We have to avoid anything that doesn't lace up the top. When we're looking at high heels, we have to look at the Vamp. And I put that little arrow in the line there so that you could see where the Vamp is. She is going to be much more comfortable in shoes that have a shallow or a lower Vamp, because it's not going to run into where her foot really starts to arch. Now, that might not be an issue for you. If it is, keep that in mind. But shoes come in all sorts of measurements. But just know if you have high arches, a shallower Vamp is going to be more comfortable. So really, when you went back and said, "Oh, well, you know what the problem is that the heels were just too high," might not have been that at all. Okay, now this is a specific one for women who are on their feet a long time in the day. And that is like a single sole. So when you're running around and you have high heels on and they just have like a stiletto single sole, the ball of your foot's like banging into the concrete all day long. And that doesn't make for a happy woman. And it definitely doesn't make for happy feet. So you might want to consider a double sole or a platform shoe to give you that little bit of added cushion. Another must-have might be if you need toe wiggle room. And again, it goes back to, I hate pointed toe shoes. And again, that's okay. There's other options. But if you need something where your toes can spread out a little bit more because you don't want them to feel scrunched or anything like that, keep that as a note as one of your must-haves. I have another client who has very narrow heels, and it's almost impossible for her to fill out a shoe that has a full back. So when we're shoe shopping for her, we always need to look for something that has a more open back and an ankle strap so that it can keep her shoes secure. So again, just go through and think, what are the comfortable shoes that I have that I like to wear and all of that, and keep that in mind next time you're shoe shopping. Oh, and really, I just wanted an excuse to use this picture because she's 5 feet tall. And I mean, she definitely looks taller than that. Such a smart use of column of color and pointed toes and all of that. But an added tip. Now, you might have heard me say it before. The end of the day isn't an awesome time to try on clothes. Like, we're tired, our body hurts, we can't wait to take off our bra, like whatever. Our makeup is melted off. It's just not the right mindset to try on new clothes and to decide if we really love them or not. The exact opposite is true when it comes to shoes. And if we can try them on at the end of the day where we've been on our feet a bunch and our feet are swollen, that is even better. Because if shoes are comfortable when your feet are swollen and tired and all of that, guaranteed they'll be comfortable when our feet are fresh and we're just having a normal day. All right. And that, my friend, is it. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. And again, please feel free to put any comments or questions in the area below. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.